Do not watch To Your Eternity if you aren't prepared to cry. This show is sad in the most beautiful way, yet somehow still makes you feel hopeful. But be warned, everyone who can die will die. What's good? I'm Jess, aka Coco Sensei. I do anime and manga related content, reviews, and occasionally talk about Jesus. If you're new, welcome. Get a snack and sit down because we got a lot to talk about. Today I'm reviewing To Your Eternity Season 1. So the basic story is a sentient orb is sent down to Earth. When it receives stimulation, it can turn into the thing that stimulates it. It starts as a rock, then turns to a wolf, then turns into a boy, and that's when its journey begins. Later, we find out his purpose is to collect and preserve information on Earth. And while doing it, there's an evil in the world that it must ultimately defeat. It's absolutely worth the watch, but definitely keep a box of tissues nearby. So I started the series on a complete whim, and episode 1 broke my heart because I had no idea what I was actually getting myself into. So we follow Fushi as a wolf, following its owner, whose name we never find out, until one day that boy dies from an infection. After this, we see Fushi wandering around being killed multiple times because he's completely unaware of how to live as a human. Which I really like that they were kind of realistic. Like, he didn't know how to use the bathroom, he didn't know how to eat, he didn't know how to, you know what I mean? Like, it was all the different things. I didn't know if they would go that literal, but they did, and that was actually nice to see. Then we find ourselves in a village where they practice human sacrifice. The little girl we meet is named March, and she's the next one destined to be sacrificed. March being sacrificed hurt my soul because once she met Fushi, I had hope. She's the one who even named him Fushi. She ends up becoming his so-called mom, and her being his mom is the sweetest part of the show because she just wanted to grow up and be a mom in real life. Once Perona and Piorin join up, you start feeling hopeful. They clearly in chains, but for some reason, when they got to that new town, I had hope and was curious about the world they lived in. I immediately thought they were going to go on like some journey uncovering corruption or something like that. Just for them to kill off March while they were trying to escape. Not only that, but they gonna show her in the spirit being sad about dying as if we weren't sad enough. It was at this point I understood anyone and everyone was going to die. But I kept watching anyway. Next up we meet Gugu. And Gugu and Fushi becoming brothers and the found family with the old brewer and Piorin was such a sweet moment to watch. I wanted to feel bad for Gugu, but his character almost forced you not to feel pity for him. He was young, but he carried himself like a grown man, and I had a deep respect for him. And then Gugu and Ren's love was the sweetest thing ever. Her finally seeing his face and kissing him made me cry. I was so hurt when he died. And I appreciate that they never showed us his face. It felt like the author held Gugu in high regards too. The thing I hate about this is that they make us see the person's consciousness when they realize they've died. And it's like, enough. The knife is already there, so stop turning it. Once Fushi leaves after Gugu's death, I became numb to caring about any more characters, okay? Really, it's when I realized that that scene break was showing the people who had died, and it implied that more people would, so I just tried to mentally prepare myself for the worst so I wouldn't be hurt. But somehow they still managed to get me choked up. Child, Piorin and Fushi have the worst luck. They stayed getting captured. And they end up getting sent to a prison island that's just really, really messed up. It's lawless and everybody there is just built different. And then when Fushi met the kids, I was just like, well, they're definitely not gonna make it. But surprisingly, Toturi and the other little boy made it. 2 out of 5 was good because I thought for sure they would all die. I haven't talked about the knockers because there's not much to really talk about. We don't understand their motive at all. And I'm more confused at the end than at the beginning of what they actually want or what's their end game. But I will say the zombie moment on the island was wild. The only person I wanted to die was Hayase, and she just kept surviving until the very end. Finding out she killed Perona hurt my feelings, okay? Because it was so uncalled for. There was no reason for her to kill that woman. And then her weird, freaky licking and trying to have sex with Fushi was wild. I'm like, not this turning into some hentai, because what we doing? Between the knockers, tentacles coming out all wild, and then her being naked, I'm like, what we do? I'm like, hold on, this switched up, okay? Anyway, once they make it past all of that, when Fushi goes on to live with Piored until the end, it was just really sweet. I thought by then I wouldn't be sad, but when that woman got dementia, I lost it. It hit close to home for me, unfortunately. So I was kind of just a mess. I was done with the show at that point. Overall, I felt like the story was different than anything I had seen before, so it felt like a breath of fresh air. The story made you curious about the man in black, the knockers, and ultimately what was going to happen to the earth. Because if they're saying Fushi's there to preserve information about it, then that must mean something is coming that would destroy it, right? Ultimately, season 1 left you with more questions than answers, but season 2 is already out though, so I'll be watching that and review it shortly. And I know it's been confirmed that season 3 is coming too. So, comment below your thoughts about season 1. Was it what you expected? And what do you think is coming next? If you want more videos like this, remember to like and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping that brand new hot shit. I'm Jess, aka Coco Sensei, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Love you guys.